guys, welcome to LG Overdrive. This is episode 8. I'm the host, The Young Buck. With me today, I have Jelly Do Right.
Hello.
Also with me, I have Rista Linen.
What's up, everybody?
Returning once again, we have Unfortunately Worthy.
Yo.
And last but not least, we have Notorious All-Star.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good to be here.
Going to kick it off this week straight away. We're going to send it over to Rista Linen with teams that are hot, and he'll be talking about Rochester, who went 8-1.
All right, this is going to be nice and fun because I am not prepared whatsoever. So, Rochester had a good week versus their division, actually, for the most part at least, not completely. But they ended up taking out Cleveland and Rockford, the big boys, I know. Beating Rockford 5-4. We'll see if this was an OT or not. I'm not. Okay, it was an OT. Let's see who was in this one. Oh, Fourth was not in this one. That's sad. You want to explain a little bit what happened there, Fourth? Were the boys a little rattled after that one?
I don't think so. Yeah, we're playing like two of their top 3 players, I think, for forwards, and we had. I don't want to call it a third line because I'm gonna take that to offense, but I was working, so I don't really know what happened. I know we were winning with 20 seconds left, so and then we lost. So I guess that they were pissed that way. But you can't be mad when you're playing a top team and you lose in overtime. You got a point, right? So.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah. They had Greed in that game as well as MJ in theirs and Abby and Grocery. So
that's what I mean, right? So they threw almost everything they got except for no Fox. And if we can match that up for like a line, I'd take a point out of that any day.
Yeah, it's definitely a good lineup that they had going out there for sure. And then Rochester also ended up taking down the Cleveland, and that was actually the same exact lineup that beat Rockford, and I believe it was Death Star, Thumbs, and it might have been mixed up slightly, but for the most part, it was the same line. So they're definitely putting a lot of trust in that line, putting them up against Rockford and Cleveland. So they took down the Gun Goat, the almighty Gun Goat from last season. I don't know about this season as much, but he's still doing really good nonetheless.
Still Gun Goat. Guys,
yeah. And the only loss ended up coming to Grand Rapids, who's been hot as fuck right now. They're taking down a lot of really good teams, and they're making a big push here. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch. I got to look at the standings here quickly. I'm not positive if they're able to catch them or not. I guess they could catch Cleveland, but I don't know. I don't see that happening unless Cleveland blows this week. But you never know. That's about all I got on Rochester this week.
All right. Well, again, Rochester had the best record in the league, and now we're going to send it over to another top team. We're going to send it over to Fourth, who's got Utica, who went 7-2.
Utica. Wow. They went 7-2, I think you said there, Buck. Yeah. Yep. Last week they won 2 games, so it was kind of like a nice bounce back. I looked at the standings earlier when I was told I was talking about Utica, and they seem to be a lock for playoffs. That's a team for me that they're like a wild card team because I think they can upset a team in the first round. I don't know if they're like Calder ready or if they're going to win the Calder, but they're definitely a team to watch out for. But for their week, I want to put like so we do like a sandwich and a meat, like a sandwich, like a bread meat bread. So you do like something good, and then like what was bad about the week, and then like another piece of bread to like close it off and a good thing. But they win 7-2, which was good. You never heard of that?
I'm all about that sandwich analogy. That's good.
You say like when you're in school, like high school or like elementary school, you have like you critique someone's presentation sandwich, so piece of bread, something good. Then
I'm in high school still. Never have I done that.
Something bad, and then another piece of bread, so like good. So it's like good, bad, good. Anyway, moving forward.
You've got my attention. You've got my attention. I'm listening.
All right. So for the first piece of bread, they beat 3 really hard, like 2 really good teams, and then one like I'm kind of surprised they beat as well, and that was they beat us against the KSP line, so you can really consider that our top line. Then they beat Grand Rapids the same night, so that's pretty impressive. Then they beat Wilkes-Barre, but the thing about Wilkes-Barre was they played I think that's their top line, Gumba, Datsuki, and Deke, and Drake, which was good. However, now the meat is, it seems that anytime they beat a top team, there's an ECU in, and that ECU goes off. And these ECUs are prospects. They can't even be used for them come playoffs. Like that Rectify guy scored 3 goals for them out of their 5, which, you know, if he wasn't there, they score 3 goals. And then against Grand Rapids, he scored 2 goals. I don't know what the score was. I can't remember, 6-4 maybe. And he was a 3rd star. And then when they played Wilkes-Barre, Watkins was 1st star. So he played defense. So it's like,
Jeez.
you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I hate ECUs. Like, everyone gets excited when you line up against ECUs, and then people get pissed. But ECUs are good, man. Like that one guy off of Wilkes-Barre, Mantha, NHL defenseman, ECU goes 7-0-1 for them. That's 15 points. It almost gives them a lot for playoffs. Not saying he's the whole thing, but you get a team that struggles and they play. Okay, so that was the meat, which is not really even that big of a deal. And then the other piece of bread is after this week they pretty much pulled away from their race for not making the playoffs, and I think they're pretty solid. I mean, their defense, having Lashy and Salty, is pretty solid. I mean, I'm a person where I'd split them up, but they want to play together, so like I understand why you play together, but I would add the depth and split them up. But then they got Wiener's good, Gilbsy's good, so at least they get a fun 9 weeks. At least they get a fun little playoff run.
I really need to know, is there any mustard in this sandwich?
I know. I was looking at the League Gaming site, and I come back, this guy's got eating ham or some shit. Oh, God.
But it's
The
fake.
thing is
By the way.
I could probably ask him, but I just said he probably has no fucking idea what just came out of my mouth because he's looking at it.
He's fucking eating cake.
Leftover cake from the other day. So you're talking about food, so I figured it was
You
fitting.
have spoons in there?
This is what's left. So,
Oh my
That's
god.
not really cake anymore. That's icing in the bottom of the
well,
bowl.
you saw me eat it, so it's gone.
Right now. All right. We're gonna move on to teams that are not on
Oh.
this week. I'm gonna send it over to Mr. Cake Eating Dudley, who has
Okay.
Milwaukee. They went 2-6-1 last week.
Okay, let's pull up the trusty old iPod here. Okay, so Milwaukee being in my division, right? It's good to see that, you know, nothing against their team. Well, everything against their team because they're our rivals. But, you know, when your team goes 2-6-1, there's obviously some problems. Now, you take a look at some of the schedule from last week. They lost to Toronto, and they lost to Dallas. They did beat the St. John's Ice Cast, but it just seems like with teams like Manitoba, Dudley, who aren't really doing well, they could have taken this week to capitalize. But when you go 2-6-1, it's not exactly that great, especially that loss to Dallas. I mean, not Dallas, Texas. Excuse me. It's
Texas is pretty good, though.
yeah, but you know, I don't know. I think my team isn't great. I just don't think that team isn't great either.
Yeah, it's
so-
like when you view them.
Milwaukee did better than Manitoba this week, so
Well, I'm not saying my team didn't suck. I'm be the first one to tell you that. But you know, this is their chance. This was their chance for them to actually pull ahead, and they didn't, unfortunately. I mean, they still have a lot of good players that you know, maybe they could attempt to do a last ditch effort, but this really just kind of messed them up. So I don't know, it just doesn't look good for them. So that's unfortunate, but you know, when you lose to Toronto like my team did, then you really have a problem, you know.
oh boy. Yep.
That's why I hate the AHL. It's like all those teams in the NHL, when they play batty, you get awarded for the top pick. Here, you play bad, you get awarded with managing. Never want to manage again except to find ECUs.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's no AHL draft in real life, but that's where sometimes I feel like there's enough prospects for AHL players to have draft picks of their own. But
I think that just plays into the whole, you know, AHL being affiliated, well, being, what's the word I'm looking for? Not affiliated, but kind of independent, but also tied with the, you know, NHL team as it is in real life. Because I'm sure the AHL.
well, it makes sense, and then like I understand like top prospects if you go to the NHL in real life, just like if you had a first round pick, they're probably staying in the NHL and OG. But a lot of owners don't even interact with their AHL teams, right? There's no like award
Well,
for it.
if you had a system similar to the way the AHL and the CHL have it, then I think the AHL would prosper a little more, and you would see less teams like Toronto who fail. You
I
know,
know.
in the sense of where owners get to dictate their AHL management. So, I mean, that applies to everything, and to at least a lot of the things in the AHL. And I feel like as this time goes on, with Milwaukee not playing well, I'm not saying that Milwaukee is a train wreck, but it's just that, it really, hampers the mood for everyone towards the end of the season. But yeah, Milwaukee's not playing well.
I do have a message to convey to Dudley. One of our friends, the good I'm Faces, says, 1, stop being fat, Dudley. 2, it's not like Milwaukee or Manitoba is making the playoffs anyways. No way you guys can make up 20 points. And then
I'm the first one to say that.
Then,
what is he talking about?
And then 3,
what are you talking
he says, you guys are fighting for last place. Yay.
That's what I mean. Like, it'd make the last week more exciting for bad teams as well, because you actually want to lose.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to lose.
For Mario Lemieux now all of a sudden?
I don't want to lose either, Notorious. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to say this to faces. I know my team sucks. You don't have to tell me twice. I know this already. Okay.
And GM of the year, Dudley.
No, I like my guys. We just had a rough go. Okay, that's the more diplomatic answer.
Two-Face Dudley. You say he hates his team, now he loves it.
Dudley of 2 faces.
Oh, no, he said his team's not good and anything like his team, so he didn't say he hates you guys, and you guys watch it.
But Faces does say come to Hartford. They like losing because your team sucks. You aren't in my backpack anymore.
Does he need me to carry some more players? Just like I used to carry him in Milwaukee?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit. I wish
Here,
Faces
let me
would get
just
on the
say-
show and talk to him.
Let me just say this here. He had his best statistical season with me as the center.
Trying to say you're better than Gungo.
We'll just,
Facts.
Sure.
we'll just stick that one on the back burner and let it simmer for a little while.
That's my segment, by the way.
Anyways, we're going to move on to the second shitter of the week. And we're sending it to Notorious, who at Bakersfield, who also went 2-6-1.
Yes, the Bakersfield Condors, which is basically a California condor, which is basically like a vulture or a buzzard, which is a completely fucking ugly bird, just like their record this week. 2-6-1. That's terrible. So the Bakersfield Condors over there in the Western Pacific, which is my division, know them well. Currently, they're sitting in 7th place in the division, 59 points. Much like, I hate to say it, but Stockton, I don't think they're going to be making the playoffs. But this week they did take some pretty key losses, some big losses as well. They lost to Manitoba 7-1, Springfield 3-2,
That-
Hershey 6-3, Rockford 2-1, which is actually not that bad.
How fucked is that?
Who loses to fucking Manitoba?
The
you guys are funny.
little baby Penguins, they lost to them as well, 4-3 in overtime. Lehigh Valley 7-5 and Hartford 5-3. They did manage to squeak out a couple of wins, as it was already mentioned. They beat Providence 3-2 in overtime. Not a bad win. And they beat Bridgeport, but we don't really need to speak about that because, as I've mentioned before, everybody beats Bridgeport, and they won that game 6-5.
I can't wait to see when Bridgeport's good again.
Yeah, so Bakersfield did not equate themselves well this week. But you know what? It's been a rough go, so it is to be expected.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no. Even like you said it well yourself, Stockton. I don't even think we're making the playoffs, but I hope
We're gonna
we
try.
can.
We're gonna try.
We're only 8 points out. That's not a lot.
Notorious. You gotta
Yeah,
be
but
a
8
coach.
points in a division, that's almost every game's almost a 4-point game, so it's not even that.
I remember when I was 8
We're
points
not.
out. That was fun.
Okay.
You tell, it's easy. You tell Risto, if he beats you, he's off the media team.
And he's also not getting that Hartford Whalers jersey.
All right.
That's
Damn.
funny.
I'm not gonna bet that because I don't even know. Our Avail's so bad we don't even have lines together. I don't think so.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
I got 2
Yeah.
defense.
This is my first week we've had really bad Avail, and I looked at it, I was like, damn, this is gonna be fun.
This is a special request. Third team that are shitters this week. was faces his own Hartford, who went 3-6 against the Pacific Division. He says that last week they went 8-1 versus their own division, and then they went off to play the Shitters, and they went 3-6. And faces played in net against San Jose, and he lost. So this point proven that his team is pretty weak.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Tater. Actually, we actually only beat them 1-0, and each team had a decent amount of shots. So Tater is doing pretty good, and he might take that starter role going into playoffs.
Are you saying there's a goalie controversy in Hartford?
I'm pretty sure he already has a starting role.
I thought
Tater?
I'm pretty sure that you mentioned that at the beginning of the season in your article there, Notorious.
I sure did, yes. There's definitely a controversy there.
We'll see how
You're
week 9 goes.
I think Tatar's a starter, and Faces will kill me for saying it, but you look at Tatar's teams, he's the go-to goalie.
Oh, they said Faces says that he's had all 3 of the wins though, and that Tater was winless.
Yeah, but Tater played pretty good team.
But Faces plays top teams. I'm not saying he doesn't, but it just seems like Tatar plays more.
This is true.
This is gonna get crazy.
All right, we're moving on to our next topic. We have Dudley and his top 10 list for this week.
Oh,
Okay. All right. So if you weren't already aware, we just did the All-Star game. We did the voting and whatnot amongst almost everyone here, and we tried to be as diplomatic as possible by allowing the teams to nominate their players. Now, when the process is done and we, try to give everyone their fair share, the one thing that people do the most, at least on these websites, is complain, because that's what everyone knows how to do right. If you ever want to get anyone in agreement, it's the one thing that everyone knows how to do is complain. You would think it would be to help each other out, but that's wrong. Okay, you never give anyone the benefit of the doubt. So today we have top 10 reasons why you may be salty about last Friday's All-Star game. If you were salty, buyer beware. Trigger warning. I don't care.
This could be about you.
So yes. So here we go. Number 10. You were so good, we forgot about you. Number 9. Your parents worked in a salt factory. Number 8, we were limited on options since Notorious counts as 2 people.
Hey, fuck you, Dudley.
Number 7, when Faces makes it to an All-Star game, I'd be salty too. Number 6, you play on Rochester. Number 5, this was this person's closest chance to win something since their participation trophies in Little League. Number 4, you got paid by Morton Salt to promote their product. Number 3, you feel the need to have your worth proven by a bunch of dudes on the internet. Number 2, your mom or dad told you were the best internet hockey player and there is nobody who plays internet hockey just like you. and the number 1 reason...
Fourth, the shaker head at that last one.
Just happy I got a react. Okay. Well, by the way, is that what your parents told you? For?
I could have put myself in, but my mother told me that I don't need an award to know that I'm the best player on the internet hockey there is.
Good. Congratulations. You win a monkey.
My mom, get off that fucking game. That's what she's.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
And
Hold on. More than me.
Hold on. Shut up, Faces. Shut up, Faces. And the number 1 reason why people have been salty over the All-Star game, they don't go outside. Yeah.
What's outside?
There we go.
Okay, Faces, welcome to the show.
The fuck do you mean Tater plays more than me? We have like the same amount of games.
I said I get him going. I knew I get him on the show.
What the fuck?
I'm sitting here on my phone, like looking. Everyone's talking, just like listening. And I just know when someone said that Faces was like telling what to say, I said, Faces is fucking home. So I'm gonna fucking grind his gears right here. So I said, you know what I noticed about Faces?
Oh, you fucking grinding my gears, alright. I was like, wait a second. Fucking played 5 games last week, had all our wins, and we have the same amount of games. The fuck you talking about?
Well played, sir. Well played.
I tried to do that starter thing last year. It's a headache. I mean, you're both GMs, so it's you kind of expected it, but having 2 goalies at the time, that's it.
The real question is who's playing 7 this upcoming week?
Yeah.
It's my birthday week, so probably Tater.
Oh,
I'm gonna
he's
get my
turning
Darcy
10.
Camper all week.
Oh, you're Darcy Camper going.
Who's Game 7 goalie?
Oh, that's definitely me.
Oh shit!
Dude, what if it doesn't happen? I want to see this for sure.
We're losing in 5 in the first round, but Game 7 goalie would be me.
Sorry.
Why would you lose in 5 in the first round? You're playing Wilkes-Barre.
We fucking suck.
Where's your confidence, dude? Come on.
Where was
We
this
lost to
tenacity in
Germaniac.
Milwaukee?
What?
You lost to Germaniac, sir.
Well, that's what happens in
War
four
against Germ, okay? People were waived after that game, literally.
Germ has some nasty ECUs, dude. They're coming for you.
I literally weren't waived Osiris after that game.
I saw that.
Faces, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You seem to have jumped on pretty quickly. Did you just finish coming back from committing a murder?
No, Osiris is still alive. You're good.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to our next topic, we have the All-Star Game recap. And we have 2 All-Stars actually in this party. We have both goalies, one from the Eastern Atlantic, which is Faces, and the goalie from the Western Pacific, which is Notorious. Faces, how did your first game go?
I had a breakaway on me within 2 minutes of the game starting. That's how my game went.
Did you win your game?
No, we got shut out.
Yeah. So the Central beat you guys, what, was it 3-0?
Yeah, 3-0.
All right. Notorious, how'd your game go?
Well, we won.
The first game against
We won the first
North,
game.
right?
Yes. I believe it was 5-3.
6-4, I think it
6-4?
was.
6-4, yeah.
I know we won by 2.
I noticed that you had your team in a party like an hour and a half before the game. Were you guys practicing?
Yeah, we did. We did a warm-up game, and I actually rallied the troops on Monday. I think I got us all in
Wow.
an LG group chat just to make sure we're all on the same page, and because that's what a good person does. They organize their boys. Right?
Warms up for the All-Star game.
Notorious.
Hey, you got to live for it, and I do.
Dud-
Okay.
Dudley, that is correct. You are not an all-star.
How come you never managed?
I've never really had the time. It's something I'm thinking about though. So
Manage with me. Hey.
If-
No man for Dudley, you'll kill yourself.
group me inspirational chats coming up.
Whoa.
Quack.
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon.
Buck's got to bleep that one out.
Too soon.
That was on a.
Never
that
too
was
soon.
on a-
See, even Brody knows that's bad.
All right, we just might as well cut Face's audio out completely the whole show. The show. There we go.
Awesome.
All right.
He just had
and
to come
then,
and drop a shirt and everything.
so since Notorious won in the first game, that meant the Pacific moved on versus the Western Central, who shut out Faces' team because Faces' team still can't score, whether it's All Stars or Hartford. And they played, and I believe their game went to overtime.
It did, yeah. It was. I don't know if anyone saw the game. I'm sure it was being streamed. I know
Streamed by 4
Eagles,
points.
94-12 from our team was streaming it. But it was an amazing game. Like, that was probably the best game I've been involved with in a long time. It was exciting. It was 0-0 in the third period. I think they scored with about 7 minutes left.
Yeah, about that.
And we rallied, scored one late to push it overtime, and they got us on a little
48
cross crease
seconds.
deal. Yeah, it was a nice goal on their part as well. But yeah, I would just like to say, like, I want to thank my guys, Peking Duck, Buddy Wackett, Decosaurus Rex, who replaced Junior Hawk, Livid Penguin, and Eagles 94-12. Awesome guys. Those guys are great. Really enjoyed playing with them.
I know personally, like I was asking around the guys who did play, and they said that was probably the most fun they've had on NHL 17 in a while because there was no bitching about the game.
No,
Nobody's
no,
got
like,
bitch breakaways or anything. It was fun.
it was
like,
awesome.
it was
And the
fast paced. It was good games. Yeah.
The whole thing moved along real smoothly too. Like we were the first game of the night. We were like 20 minutes late because we could not get connected to the other team. So that was an issue. But even though we started 20 minutes late, I think by the last game we were 5 minutes early. We started before the final.
Your game was supposed to start at 9. It started at 9:18 because I got back and I watched it start at 9:18, and then the Atlantic game was supposed to start at 9:45. It started at 9:45 on the dot because yours ended at 9:43, and then the finals started. It was started at 10:30. It started at 10:22. So
Yeah, no, it was great.
unlike LG, it was actually like on time for games and even ahead of time, which is nice.
Well, yeah, nobody was in the NHL or playing a drop and they couldn't leave.
Can I make a point? You mentioned Notorious that that was probably one of the better games that you played, and then Buck added that there was nobody complaining. You see, that's what we really need back in the regular goings of LG, because
Preach.
You can't.
on a daily basis, sometimes it gets really tense, and sometimes even if you win, the fun gets kind of sucked out because everyone's so focused on that, or just trying to focused on other things instead of just actually just playing the game and having fun.
Yeah.
And when you actually just play the game just to have fun instead of like on edge this and that and the fourth because oh snap, my defense didn't play defense for me, or oh my gosh, Dudley's so bad at this game, or why does Faces have to keep opening his mouth all the time, when you're just playing just to play, it's fun.
Yeah,
And that's how we used to do it back in the old school VHL days. I'm dating myself here, but that's how we used to do it, and that's one of the reasons why everything is like the way it is. But now that we've got egos or people trying to try hard and whatever, it just kind of took the fun out of it. So
And-
when I hear stuff like that, it's actually pretty professional.
And the part of it as well is that really helped. Like, the guys are great, but all you guys as well, like everybody on the media team that stepped up to get it done, guys that were online to help facilitate things. I know Buck was there, Faces was helping out. I don't know if the other guys were or not on as well, but you guys helped organize it. You did what you had to do as well, right? So it was great, and I thought it was supremely run. So good job, everybody.
That's another thing. It's like we're normally told like the HL All-Star Game's a shit show. Like, I know when I ran in season 25, it was absolutely like all over the place because I got called into work and Hudden had to run everything by himself. Last season apparently it was a shit show with everything that Pivot had tried to get done. It was like all over the place.
Didn't teams like play each other by accident that weren't even supposed to be playing together?
Last year?
I can't remember if that was.
I didn't hear about that.
How the fuck do you fuck that up that
I
hard?
don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember if that was we weren't supposed to play this team, but we did. And fuck, I don't know.
See, that was the whole point of me having the staggered start time, so that way you couldn't fuck that up. Like last season, I know that there was like 3 games.
Maybe they didn't start there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I don't know how you can fuck that up that hard, but usually there's like 100 different fucking game day substitutions.
Yeah.
So it was nice to know that like everyone's, because I posted the roster lineup so early that people were said in the thread, yeah, I can't make it. Can you find a sub? I got some the day of, like 6 hours before. The only 2 that I didn't get were both in the North Division. Turbo from Syracuse, the one that caused the big turmoil with Rochester, didn't show up, so I had to replace him with a guy that wasn't even in the nominations from Albany, who turned out to be one of their HEMs, and then the left defense, the same division. I went to Apollo from Toronto. So it was nice to see that. And yeah, again, All-Star MVP went out to Augie from Rockford, 4th line's goalie. He 1 goal against in 2 games. He had, 1 goal on 22 shots. He had an assist.
Preaching to the choir.
They had fun in the locker room after that one. I saw the photos. It was crazy. Notorious was there and everything.
I wasn't supposed to be there, but I just snuck over after the game. My guys were all crying. They were at the poutine bar filling up. I was like, I'm just gonna slip out of here for a minute and just see what's happening over there. And hey, it was a good time. We had a good time.
I'm glad you guys had a good time with that. Now moving on to my other part of the All-Star that I want to talk about. I know some of the other media members are a little salty themselves over this, is the amount of complaints that we had about our system that we ran and how we were going forward with it, and how Rochester freaked out because their player decided he didn't want to play. So as our system said, if a player cannot play, they will be replaced by the player from the team that was not initially represented in the 6 players. Rochester.
He's 1 in 12, Buck.
Yeah, he's
So,
1 in
like,
12.
People
So-
don't read, and that was the issue. There was a couple things there, Buck, that I didn't understand. Like the complaining, and I'm not just gonna single out Rochester, but like anyone, like the people who were complaining, most of them weren't GM, so like I get why you could be mad, but like ask your GM because we didn't pick those players, and some of them complaining weren't even on the nominations.
Yeah.
Like you weren't even going to be an all-star regardless, so why does it matter that you're not even playing?
No, I know.
I think
And
my favorite one was Halak, though. His little thread he had. That
That
was
was a
pretty funny.
joke, though. I was reading that and I knew he wasn't being serious.
it was all satire.
Well, I would
It was
hope
so
not.
funny. It was so funny. but like it was really bugging me because like you got to understand that like yes, your player decided he didn't want to play. It's not that he couldn't; he didn't want to. He
Whose
automatically
fault is that then?
like it doesn't matter if it was Rochester, Albany, Toronto, any team in that division. If the first player that told me they couldn't play, they were being replaced by a player from Syracuse, regardless. Then, because that Syracuse player wasn't there, the only team that wasn't being represented was Rochester. So who was the first to get a call? Rochester. So it goes back. It was a cycle. Like, and then finally, like I got ripped into it like all week about it. But then the day of, when I asked Nabby about asking his right defense in a play, he's like, "Oh, I understand kind of how it's going. I just don't like the way you guys did it, replacing a guy that's like one of our best players for a guy that's 1-12."
See,
That guy didn't even play.
Here's the thing.
I
Here's the
didn't
thing.
understand that, but when you clarified, I understood. I was like, okay, I didn't know like, that's how you were doing it. I thought like Rochester's player subbed out, she'd replace another Rochester, but I didn't know that not every team was being.
Yeah, because there's only 24 spots, but there's 30 teams, right? So
Right.
there's only so
People
much you can do.
knew so far in fucking advance when the games were going to be played. You should have asked your fucking players if they could
I
show
know, it
up
didn't,
on that
it's not like
fucking
you
day.
couldn't tell your team. I asked like people, and I asked.
That was a pet peeve, like a major pet peeve of mine. Was like I posted a thread like 4 weeks ago. I said it at every media show that there's a game at this time, this time, this
People
time.
don't
This
read.
is how
That's
it's gonna
the thing.
happen. People don't read and people don't watch the show.
You know, you would think people would actually take the time out, especially if they're gonna put so much energy in complaining about it, that they might actually say, "Hey, let me see how this goes, and maybe I could actually come up with a legitimate gripe." But no, because people are dumb and they don't know how to read, and when you don't read things, then you react like an idiot. You know, the process is fine. Would you
Yeah.
rather have this or have nothing? Okay, that's my thing. You know, we're actually making a concerted effort here to give the league something back for those who play well. You know, if honestly, if it were up to the people that complain, it would just be them and their friends, honestly. And that's how it used to be at some point back.
Actually, that
22 then.
What's
So,
that? That brings up another point. It was like the whole like, oh well, why did Fox get in but Banks didn't get in? Impact Greed didn't get in as an example. Because Impact Greed is the leading scorer with 46 goals, and Banks is the top goalie. He's got 4 total losses on the season. Like only one player per team could be represented. That's who we voted because you're trying to make the best team per division. If you're gonna nominate your top 6 players, you're gonna be salty because 5 of them won't get in. There's like
that's the thing too, right? Is like you go if you take it for the best players. So Fox is good, Impact Greed looks good. So then there's 2 players for that division that are aligned in LG. So then you just throw them a really good right wing from another team. I get it's a super team, but like the All-Star game in the NHL was before this season where they picked their own players and it was a fan vote. It was never there were so many bad players like that shouldn't have been there. They got snubbed because it's not to build a super team, it's for fun. So like, for bad teams, and Turbo's not even that bad. Like his record's bad, but you're gonna be bad.
Played on San Jose and Syracuse for the whole season.
Yes, I guess
He's an all-star just for the fact he hasn't fucking quit yet.
And like another thing is, if you look at the Pacific team, there was one substitution. It was Junior Hawk, who is leading scorer, tied for first in the league there, but he plays on Texas. But he was replaced by another super solid left wing who was Decasaurus. Like on paper, the Pacific had the best team. Like they were a super team because not all the teams nominated their top players, their top lines. They picked
3
like
teams
one
nominated
strong,
fucking ECUs.
Yeah. One of them being Cleveland nominating B Major. Shout out to B Major in the CHL. And last but not least is awards. So coming up is the end of the season. By hopefully the end of next week, beginning of the first round of playoffs, we'll have the nominations for all the awards done. So the way it's going to work, it's going to be somewhat like last season where we announce all the nominees for each of the awards for the awards that we as a media team can vote on. So that's the Eddie Shore for like best defenseman, the Baz for the top goalie, the most sportsmanlike, the GM of the year, MVP, top defensive forward. Those 6 are the major 6 awards that we would be voting on. So we're each going to nominate a player, and then those players are going to be listed out at between end of week 9 and beginning of round 1, and then we'll release the winners at the end of the playoffs before season 28 comes out. So that way you guys can see who's nominated. And again, this is completely non-biased. We do our best to not be biased on this, sadly.
You can send all your get goods to Buck's profile. He's trying to get his ratio back to even.
Dude, I'm literally like, I'm excited for the awards, but it's just.
I mean,
There's always going to be people who complain. It's always like that. It doesn't matter.
There is a lot of criteria that we have to go over, so like it is a thoughtful process that we have to put time and effort into it. Like we have to do extensive research. Like I know there are going to be people that are snubbed. 100%. You think you're going to be deserving of it, but there's specific criteria that we have to follow, that we're going to do our best to follow, to make sure that the proper awards are handed out to the proper people.
Well,
And
people get snubbed in the real NHL all the time. It's just
Exactly.
how it's just the way the
different
cookie
here,
crumbles.
Yeah, like Mike Babcock not winning Coach of the Year. That was fucking bullshit.
But you know, like we do our best, and like I understand people get upset, but in the end of the day, it's just a game. I know,
But it's not even complaining like, hey, this person should have won the award because of this. It's, hey, you must know nothing because you didn't pick this person. You're so bad. This media is a joke. Like what? You didn't even.
Yeah, it's really getting personal a little bit.
Personal, man. It is the most fucked thing I bet. Like I didn't even do the awards last year. I'm just reading about when Aerosol won MVP. I'm just reading this, man, and I'm just like, holy fuck, man. That's some fucked up shit.
Yeah, I know.
It's greasy, dude. Everyone gets so mad about awards. Like only one person's winning the particular award, I guess you would say, and so many people are gonna get snubbed. It's not even funny. Like it just happens. There's a lot of good people in this league.
Like there's gonna be up to 7 nominees per award. There's 7 media team members. Like there's gonna be snubs. There's 1 winner out of 7 that are max possible to be nominated.
And let's just get this out there now. Strength of schedule for basically every award is one of the top criteria. So if you fucking played
Syracuse,
Ontario and Syracuse and fucking Toronto, you can kiss any award goodbye.
Bridgeport,
You can have fun fucking off.
San Jose, yeah, goodbye. Especially,
That's where I want to hesitate and stop you. Because if you want to do the playoff and non-playoff teams, you got a criteria of where they were in the standings that week. Because that's bullshit. And that happened last year where someone's playing stock. I can't remember a team, but we use stock as an example, where they're a playoff team in week 3, 4, 5, but 6, 7, 8, 9, they fall off. But then when you played them in week 3, 4, 5, they're considered a non-playoff team, but they were a playoff team at that time.
yeah, no, 100%.
Well, we can go that in depth. I'm just saying that the basic, like the number 2
Right,
criteria.
but you know, like
for every
Toronto
award.
was at 1 point, but like obviously they were a top team, so you can consider that a bad team, like Bridgeport, etc. But those bubble teams, when they just fell out of the playoffs, they can't be considered really non-playoff if they were in there.
Well, like the teams that you consider like strength of schedule, like immediately, like you're knocked off of is Syracuse, San Jose, Toronto, Bridgeport, Milwaukee, Chicago.
Texas pre-week like 6 or 7.
Yeah, and Bakersfield. Like the bottom 2 from every division. If you've played majority of those teams a lot, yeah, cut yourself off.
Well, you could. If there's someone up there, you know, and they haven't played like any top team, you know what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
So,
Major and Junior Hawk pre-week like 5 or 6.
yeah, Junior Hawk has like 3 games with like 10 points.
Mayor Top Cat.
Yeah, he kind of changed though. Top Cat hasn't been doing as bad, has he? I haven't looked at his schedule and.
He plays 1
specifics.
top team out of 3 a week.
This is Vale, bro. Hey, Vale.
Mine plays us tomorrow, but he's not in. It's Dingosaurus.
So yeah, again, there's going to be a lot of salt, as Dudley will probably have another salt topic at some point for top 10 about the awards. You never know. It's Dudley. Comes and goes with those top 10 lists. But we're hoping to do better for you guys. Obviously, we do this out of our own time, and it's a lot of extensive hours, especially awards, out of our own time at that point. And then it's realized it's not just for the 510 people in the AHL. It's like the entire community that can see this. Like this goes on your profile forever afterwards. So
I do have one quick mention before you finish up here, Buck.
yeah, go for it.
So obviously they're running that Saturday Night Puck Insider Cup type thing right now. It wasn't actually as bad as you think it would be organization-wise. Like they put it together in a couple hours, and there was no organization problems in all the games.
Why is your camera off?
Why is it off? I don't know. But it was organized fairly well, and all the teams showed up. So I definitely give them props for getting it together that fast. And one person actually, so it's whatever.
Why can't NHL teams play in it? That's pretty rude. Because then the guys who run Friday Night Puck, worse, they're not going to be able to play it.
Well, they have FNP with that draft anyway, so it's not like they're not going to play then.
Yeah, but usually it's like the NHL runs it. It's an NHL players.
Or if they want to play, they could just play the game against other people. That solves the problem.
Club.
I do have one shout out before we do head out for the night. I would like to shout out to Chicago management. I'm just keeping up with my part of my trade notes. I have to give them a shout out for the rest of the season for stipulation in the trade. I don't know. I don't remember why.
Fucking so.
The management. Whatever. Yeah, without further ado, we'll catch you guys next week for the last regular season show. We hope you guys have a good one, and peace out.